standard kind of liberal, we don't trust the people argument. Well, that at the last minute, that deal had its permit revoked, and boom, we're going to have to wait for a pro-American president, I guess, before we can get that taken care of. Hopefully the Koreans will wait long enough. Probably no domestic market big enough to handle it except the United States anyway.
Well, it's not just that. They're just destroying most of the regular helmets, jackets, clothes. That's why most of the Army Navies have shut down the last 5 years or so, because they're doing everything they can to keep any of that out of our hands.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They have a lust for destruction. In fact, part of this was a problem even somewhat under Bush, where they were destroying ordnance that was surplus or brass that
had 223, 308.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why we got an ammo shortage.
Well, that and frankly, ammo companies have been working 24/7, and the military's been buying it like crazy. But whatever the case, and that has eased somewhat. I think it was a shortage as much as anything, inspired by fear of the new president back in 2008. But now you've seen a jump in gun sales in Arizona. 63% spike the week following the shooting of the congresswoman.
And we're also seeing a lot of even Democrats now saying they're packing heat. That's good. That's the proper response. And, you know, have a security detail there packing heat. It's more guns, not less guns, that's going to stop drug addict, devil-worshipping liberals.
That's the way that we have chosen to try to respond to the gun control arguments. Oh, this shows we need more gun control. Well, yeah, if that's the case, then why does England have an increasing violent crime problem with guns? Because criminals don't obey the law. So we should be emphasizing, hey, good guys, there were 40 decent Americans standing around the congresswoman when this shooter boy got loose and started shooting people. They have a law in Arizona that's like 2 other states that says if you want to carry a gun in your pocket, your purse, openly on your hip, do it. Don't need anybody's permission. And yet none of the 40 or so had a gun on them. A guy that did carry concealed almost was there, but had decided the line was long enough, he'd go to the store and get something, come back. And that's the guy that came running to the sounds of the shots as he was leaving the store. He was the only guy that had a gun. Everybody else apparently just didn't. Well, you're not.
Well, what's the statistics that the FBI admits that for every crime committed with a gun, there's so many other crimes that are stopped with a gun?
Yeah, the FBI data are not quite as good as the survey data that have been done by liberals like Dr. Gary Kleck at Florida State University, who find that you're probably talking about 4 to 1 crimes committed with guns, a fraction of the number of crimes stopped by guns.
Well, I mean, look, it's simple. We got folks with concealed carry here in my office. I'm packing, and it's there just like a telephone's there, or just like a cup of coffee's there. I mean, it's a tool, and I don't sit here living in fear. We advertise the fact that we're not going to roll over, and so people understand that, and that's the way to go. I love Sergeant Sam here locally when he's on 590 AM. He points out he's a former police officer. He's sitting right there with a fanny pack on, in the studio. And, they're not worried about it. But
you may have seen it. There's a little joke that's been going around on the Internet. And a guy's talking to a cop, and the cop had made a road stop. And the guy said, well, I should tell you I have a gun. Or the cop asked him, I'm sorry. And he said, well, yes, I have one on me. And the cop said, well, what is it? And he described the handgun. He said, of course, I also have a rifle there in the back seat. And then in the back, I've got whatever else it was. And the cop said, well, what are you afraid of? And the guy said, absolutely nothing. So that's the way. And I think you're right. The numbers have been moving in our direction as far as support for firearms freedom. Americans are more and more aware that, like those Democrat congressmen, Cohen, for goodness sakes, there's about as liberal a guy and as unpleasant a guy as you can get. And he's come to the conclusion that he's going to carry a piece. Well, that's the most encouraging thing that I've heard of coming out of one of these tragedies. And it does help to change the discussion that maybe we are going to have to depend on ourselves. But here's what I think the socialist mindset really fears. If Americans, even liberals, start to realize that we're in it by ourselves, where the cops aren't going to be able to be there when trouble strikes. Once you've made that decision that's so central to your existence that you're going to be responsible for protecting yourself against bad guys, then I don't know if you know Mike Adams, but he writes columns on Town Hall. He's a professor.
Yes.
And he used to be a liberal. And as he and I were doing an interview on one of my shows, I asked him, you know, you got that gun as a liberal when you saw a buddy get murdered. Listening to the rest of your story, it's obvious to me that that was the opening door to the rest of a change of philosophy. You didn't happen all at once, but once you made that critical decision in such a critical area of your life, you began to see that you had to be responsible, self-responsible in other areas.
Exactly, but I don't even call them liberals. I call them domesticated. I've told the story about many years ago. In college, I kept my guns at my parents' house, and I was going to go to the shooting range. And they had a major newspaper editor that's an old family friend down from Dallas, and they were in there having lunch, and he saw me walk out of my parents' bedroom where the gun safe sat, or out of the bedroom closet, walking through the front room, and he saw me with a rifle and a case and a sidearm, and he got scared like it was a demon or a 100-foot cobra with red eyes, and he got so scared. And I said, "Look, it's unloaded. It's no big deal." And he was so scared to death. But if you could ever get them to go out, load it, learn safety, shoot it, boom, they're sold. You get somebody, and I've done this with liberals, with domesticated, castrated people. They literally grow their huevos back as soon as they fired the weapon. And when we had a culture of pure guns, there was much less crime, total safety. But if you did do something unsafe with a gun, people would ostracize you. And, you know, I was trained that way. But shifting gears here, Larry, you don't like to play up these threats. You like to, sensibly look at it. But look, they're announcing a flotilla of gun laws. A, what have you heard those are going to be briefly? And then B, they've primed the pump that, it's the fault of the guns that this is happening.
Right.
And what if there's another big event, another big shooting, and that legislation's introduced? I think this is a grave danger.
Well, that is the one thing that maybe could get somebody like Boehner to go wobbly if indeed there were some way for the left to continue the tirade against guns. But right now, it's not working. In fact, I just heard somebody refer to the left-wing libelers of Palin and the right and all as a Taliban doing an internet, an electronic stoning, and that didn't work this time. The folks didn't buy their message, and so if they're not buying the message that it was the freedom fighters in the country's fault for having put a target on Gabriel Gifford's district, well, then they're probably not going to support a move for gun control. So as long as we can hold tight in the polls, I think the congressman will probably be okay. But what they will need to do is to hear from people, and I would urge folks to go to gunowners.org, make sure you're getting our legislative bulletins, because when something, even however little a chance, starts moving, we're going to be right on top of it. We'll send out a bulletin, and embedded in there will be an email that you can send to the appropriate Congress critter to say what you like or don't like about whatever that is. So the numbers game is still going to count. They need to know that people in their districts are of the right opinion, and that will help hold them in place.
In closing, Larry Pratt, what do you make of their admission that he didn't want to talk about it openly in the speech so that they wouldn't energize the pro-Second Amendment lobby that is the majority of the American people? I mean, that shows that they're doing something they know is unpopular right there. It shows they're scallywags.
And as long as they can do as much damage as they have been doing through the BATF, why take us on in open combat when they're doing pretty well cutting our throat from behind?
Well, that was my next point. What about the ATF just ordering from California to Texas, ordering gun shops to call them when they sell more than one gun? I mean, now they're just like mafia thugs that just tell you what to do with no law behind them?
Right. I am hopeful that, I realize Darrell Issa, representative over the oversight committee that's going to be looking into all this corruption in the Obama regime. He's got a long list of things that need to be attended to.
The health care waivers for their buddies.
All kinds of stuff. I mean, it's so incredibly long a list. And we've been urging, and Representative Paul Brown, who's the head of the Second Amendment Caucus, has been urging ISA, look, we know how long the list is, but would you please put the BATF on top? These guys are actually a danger even to the decent agents who are in the ATF. One of them had infiltrated Hell's Angels and had his cover blown. His home was burned down with his wife and children, and happily they got out. But this guy's life is in danger because the higher-ups not only are goofballs, but they really have no desire to do anything by the book. The two agents want to be whistleblowers because of what they saw of the BATF agents themselves running guns into Mexico to run the numbers up.
Well, Larry Pratt, thank you so much. It goes back to the ATF being founded out of the revenuers, who were the whiskey police who were so corrupt. Abolish the ATF. You agree with that?
Absolutely.
Gunowners.org. Our website's Infowars.com. Get the free alerts. Larry, we'll be fighting right beside you. God bless.
Thank you very much.
We'll be back.
How well and how fast does Heart and Body Extract work to improve blood circulation? Listen.
My name is Ellis, and I am 66 years old, and I live in Jacksonville, Florida. 2 years ago, I was diagnosed as having clogged arteries. I had 70% blockage in one artery leading to my heart. They wanted me to go on Plavix, but I refused, knowing the negative side effects.
Heart and Body Extract is a unique balance, synergy, and proportion of herbs reaching from head to toe at maximum absorption around 95% at the cellular level.
Within the first month, I felt a dramatic difference. The heaviness in my legs was reduced, and within 2 months, I felt completely normal.
Your natural organic herbal formula for heart health is Heart and Body Extract. Heart and Body Extract comes with a 100% ironclad money-back guarantee. Details at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract. Call 866-295-5305, 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract.
This message starts with a great offer from Big Berkey Water Filters because we don't want you drinking dangerous water 1 minute longer. Right now, purchase any filter system from BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com to get your choice of 2 Berkey Sport bottles, a KDF shower filter, a set of fluoride filters, or our new sight glass spigot absolutely free. Why do this? Because over 60% of municipal water is fluoridated, and at less than 2 cents per gallon, Berkey Water Filters purify both treated and untreated water, removing dangerous chlorine, fluoride, and other contaminants. Big Berkey water filters are powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water, so they're perfect for rainwater collection systems and emergency preparedness. Remember, Big Berkey includes free shipping on every order over $50, and GCN listeners get 5% off all ceramic filter systems. Visit BIGBERKEY waterfilters.com or call 877-99-BERKEY. That's BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com or call today 1-877-99-BERKEY.
Hi, this is Alex Jones. Did you know that the global elite are now storing non-hybrid seeds in secret storage vaults near the Arctic Circle? Did you know that in a real meltdown, non-hybrid seeds can become more valuable than silver or gold? It's true, seeds have outperformed even gold and silver before in this country, and it's possible that could even happen again. So our friends at Solutions from Science have put together the perfect mix of non-hybrid seeds. They call it a survival seed bank, and it can produce an endless supply of nutrient-dense food for you and your family. And here's the best part. These seeds have not been genetically modified in any way, and you actually get enough seeds to plant a full-acre crisis garden. So visit them today at survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com, or give them a call at 877-327-0365. That's 877-327-0365. Remember, in a real crisis, non-hybrid seeds are the ultimate barter item. This is Alex Jones for Survival.